Hi, thank you for listening about my COVID garden. I started this garden during COVID, and there are three distinct stages. The first was health and safety, the second was does it grow, and the third is creating an experience for everyone, passersby, nature, and animals, and the plants themselves. In this garden, I try to bring back as many native plants as possible, also to produce vegetables. And this originally started, if we go to slide 2, with your common 1934 uh, yard, in which it's basically some plantings near the foundation in a front yard with steps made out of stones that no one really uses that sinks. So I had some problems with my yard. On the right-hand side, I had Bermuda grass, which had attacked and was killing everything in its way. You'll see I have a strip of non-spreading liriope, which did battle with the Bermuda but was losing. On the left-hand side, there was a white oak that had been sick for a while and eventually succumbed. While that's sad, what it did do was it allowed me to have sun in my yard so I could actually plant things and remove the moss that had been growing on the left-hand side. The other thing is, unfortunately, when the oak died, it left huge holes in the front yard where the roots were shriveling. And so it was unsafe to walk in the yard. So my first step of health and safety was, one, put a bed over every major hole in the yard and fill it up with dirt. The second was remove the Bermuda grass organically, which for me means no chemicals. And I basically remove things by hand. And let's go back to, let's go to the next slide, where you'll see that the second stage of will it grow? Well, the answer is in Arlington, because of our acidic soil and because of all the wonderful compost, which is available free to all residents, with a little bit of augmenting with the organic, especially the leaf mulch, yes, it will grow in Arlington. Many, many things will grow in Arlington. And what I wanted to do is to grow those things so that there was minimal water usage and minimal attention going into the garden. So after stage 2 of will it grow was answered yes, then I went on to stage 3, which was a total experience. And I decided to make the garden a modern interpretation of Colonial Williamsburg garden. You'll see right now some of the natural plants. This is a Jerusalem artichoke, and it was used by the first tribes, the first Americans, extensively for medicine, for food. It is wonderful for people with type 2 diabetes trying to reverse diabetes. I used a lasagna German hugelkultur method with the 5-gallon containers. These Jerusalem artichokes were planted in February. I have never watered those plants. Because of the technique, I should never have to water those plants. This is a native plant and it should be back. It's extremely healthy for you. On the next slide, you'll see some of the other plants that have been growing. Vegetables can be extremely beautiful. I've tried to plant as much as is healthy modern days, and I'm also trying to make sure that I have the plants that were grown during colonial times, because it really worked well back then, and if it grew then, it should grow now. In this slide on the left-hand side, you'll see spinach, which was planted in the fall. And if you've never had overwintered spinach, it is incredibly sweet. It's like a dessert. That was a new experience for me. On the right-hand side, at the bottom is lettuce, and that is butter crunch lettuce. and it has a high nitrous oxide, and it's good for people, along with the spinach, who are trying to improve their heart health. Now, on the top right-hand side, you'll see cabbage, and I arranged it in such a way where the cabbage is more ornamental than something you see as an edible plant, and all of the vegetables can be arranged in that manner. And on the top left is my allium garden. And essentially, a lot of those are kitchen scraps. If you take a spring onion, leave about half an inch, and place it in water, roots will grow. And you can then transplant them into Arlington earth, and you will have a number of spring onions. I also had some regular yellow onions, which were planted, and I had leftover leeks, which were planted, and I did plant from seed some of the chives. We have a slide showing more kitchen scraps. It is the third slide. I had potatoes that were sprouting. So what I did was I took the potatoes, cut them so I had a few eyes on each one, and I planted it in the fall. What you're seeing is a potato plant. I had never seen a potato plant before. Most people haven't. And what I expect, or I hope, is that each of these kitchen scraps will result in maybe 8 to 15 potatoes. And this is something that was done during colonial times. They grew a lot of potatoes. What I want to tell you is anybody can do this. When you have fruits or vegetables that are starting to go bad, you might be able to plant it. And that is a wonderful way, especially with children, to show children how things grow. For a child to see the roots growing is awesome. I want to now go to one of the other slides. It's the last one. And, stage 1, health and safety. Stage 2, does it grow? And stage 3 is experience. I want everyone to have a great experience since there's so much curiosity about the garden. I'm going to try hugelkultur, which is a German process in which you use all natural products, leftover logs, leftover branches, leftover weeds even, and you space it in such a way and you create a raised garden that in theory will never have to be watered. And the Germans are very successful in high desert areas throughout Africa in doing this. So people in the desert are growing vegetables that they would not have been able to since they lack water. This will also raise the level of the front yard somewhat. And like I said, I did try this hugelkultur method with the 5-gallon containers, and they work wonderfully. I haven't added any water yet. I do want to go back to the fourth slide, or the second penultimate slide, and let you know that the oak tree that died still leaves me seedlings, and I have a lot of white oaks that if anybody would like, I am more than happy to share. I also have a lot of natural red buds growing trees, and I'm happy to share that. I have a few microclimes in my front and backyard. I have a hill which replicates the Himalayas in the areas of Turkey. So I can grow specific bulbs and corms, which you would not be able to grow otherwise. So that's a microclime. The flat microclime is your regular, typical Arlington flat, what I'm calling my Colonial Williamsburg reinterpretation. The garden will have a triangle in the center and 2 trapezoids on the side. Geometry was very important. The main paths in colonial times was always the width of the door plus the trim. So I'll have 3 main paths. The secondary paths were approximately 6 bricks in that time. I've modernized it to be at least the size of a wheelbarrow. And then the tertiary paths are 18 inches to comply with modern OSHA laws. But we can learn so much from the past here in our area and replicate that. And I am so happy to share what I have been doing with my garden. And I really want to encourage everybody to be good stewards of whatever land you have. This is my front yard, so everyone sees it. Don't hesitate to do the same with your front yard. I took this idea from a neighbor down the street who grows her garden every year. And every time I passed by, I thought to myself, that is really clever. One day I will do it. And COVID provided that opportunity. So I want to encourage you. There's lots of resources in Arlington County, free. You have kitchen scraps, and you can do this. Be a good steward of your land. Have a great experience for the animals and for yourselves and for your neighbors. Thank you so much.